Welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat Podcast, y'all. I am your host, JoJo.
And I'm Tyra.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You look cute in this orange shirt.
Thank you. I feel like lately I've been wearing gym clothes to the podcast, and I'm over it.
I have yet to see you wear gym clothes on this podcast.
I literally.
Girl, no. If there's anybody that really gets ready for this shit, it's her. So
No.
To hear her say, I just been looking.
I was.
No, girl.
Yes, I was.
Don't nobody show up looking like not shit but me.
If you always look cute. She got no
Thank you,
makeup
but
on.
no.
Like, she flawless.
No.
Flawless.
I'm looking pale. But
No.
just because I ain't got no makeup, like,
You don't need
I ain't
nothing.
looking like nothing
You
fancy.
just gotta show up.
Sounds good. She's super gas at me. Anyway, so what's up? What's popping? What's new? Let me see her ring. She got her little.
Oh, I didn't even realize. Yeah.
Is this your like preciosa fit?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I was about to say, like, that's what it's giving. You're like a week in advance, baby.
Oh yeah, of course.
You're a little too early. You're a little too early. Anyway, for those of you who ain't been around and been missing all the juice that we've been given, it's okay. I'm gonna give it to you again. A little bit more wet this time. This Saturday, we will be going to Eden and Jay's Preciosa Night.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, vibe out with all the sexy Latinas, all the queer sexy Latinas, and many more to come. All POCOs welcome. But I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yeah, me too.
This is gonna be
We're going with a big group of people, so that's gonna be funny.
We're bringing the squad,
and they're all married, literally, except like 3. We're going with like 3 other couples, and then like friends who are single.
Yeah.
And my sister too.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. It's a whole lot of personalities in one space, and I don't think that everyone is quite prepared for that. I think like a small section kind of knows that it's already gonna like we already know what it's like to be out with each other, and then the other ones that haven't are like, I don't know what to expect.
Right.
But all in all, we should be just fine.
Right. I think it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, but all in all, I'm excited for this event.
Me too.
They mostly host a lot of their events in California. So
this is the first one in the East Coast.
Yeah, so for them to be coming all this way and having this event and sharing this event with us all the way down in the East Coast, it means a lot, and I'm excited. And I'm very happy for them. They're thriving right now. They're doing their damn thing. So shout out to Eden and Jay. Other than that, so if you ain't doing shit the 13th, get your tickets, stop by. Actually, it's Monday, so you got a week to get your tickets.
And they're in Brooklyn, so it's like we're gonna obviously stay in an Airbnb, but it's located in Brooklyn. So if you're near, you should go.
If you're near, you queer.
We went to AC this past weekend, and we actually saw like one of our listeners.
Oh my god,
we be getting so excited. Like, I think we be just as excited as them.
Shout out to Amber. She was mad cool, super cool, super nice. We ended up taking pictures with her. We bothered her a little bit throughout the night. So shout out to her.
Yeah,
that was fun. I love seeing listeners.
We were supposed to take a shot, but I don't know what happened. I probably shouldn't have taken any more shots.
She was too litty. There was no let's take a shot. She had enough. And we didn't even stay out there. We came back. So imagine that. I was drinking H2O.
And they gotta think I'm an alcoholic.
No. You should have been drinking. It was your friend's bachelor party, not mine.
Yeah, but I feel like I was taking some breaks. But I think it was the not eating lunch. We was taking shots so early, and then just kept drinking, and then we had dinner at night.
Yeah, it was a real big gap between our meals.
A big gap. And like, when you don't eat, you just play yourself because you're drinking.
It's AC. Like, it's everybody's drunk.
Honestly, that's the funny part of it.
What?
That everybody's drunk.
Yeah, everybody's drunk. Like, it's expected behavior.
Listen, every time I go to AC, it's a problem.
Yeah, it's expected behavior. Like, that's what it's for. That's what it's meant to be.
But honestly, I'm getting to an age though where I'm just tired though, because it's like you drink and then the next day we have plans to do something, and unfortunately I felt like shit, so I was I just want to stay home, and it was raining too. But
Yeah.
it like I feel like drink like I was telling her, I was like, I feel like that's why people do drugs sometimes.
To not feel the
To
effects of
not
a
be,
hangover.
yeah, to not be like,
I don't know. When you come off certain highs, it's pretty exhausting, I would assume.
see, I don't know because I don't do that.
I mean, I
So
wouldn't know either, but some people be looking exhausted.
that's true. They really get a mess.
Yeah.
But it's just like you get to an age where you're just like, oh my God, like your body literally just can't take it. Like,
I know, that's why I'm
relax.
a little scared about Preciosa night.
Because the following day is Mother's Day.
Yeah. Oh, I keep forgetting about that too.
Yeah.
So
So
can't be rallying up that
right.
much.
Yeah, and like we're going out to eat for my mom's for Mother's Day. So I don't want to be looking crazy. Because she'd be judging.
God bless.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's our catch up for
Yeah.
the last week and our updates.
So in this episode, we're gonna be talking about stigmas in the LGBTQ plus community. I think we did an episode similar to this, like early on. It's called what, like
In episode 3, we did like stereotypes.
Episode 3?
Preferences. Yeah.
That was
Girl, I was
early.
listening. No, because I was like, I know we've talked about certain things, so I wanna like
don't wanna
not
repeat
have
it.
to
Uh-huh.
repeat anything. Which I'm sure I'll repeat some shit. But I went back and I listened to it and I was like, damn, how far is this? And then I'm like, episode 3. And I started listening to it and I was throwing up.
No,
I was
please.
throwing up. I was
No.
cringing because I was like, what the fuck is this? First of all, we only had like one mic at the time.
Oh
So like your quality, like your audio sounds better because at the time, like you were more close to the mic, and I'm just like from a distance chatting, so I kind of sound distant,
like echoey.
Yeah, but also that was at the time where like we were using background music, like that
Wait,
Anchor
in that
had.
episode still?
Yes, girl. I changed it. I took it down. I removed it. I was like, it's better off
Babe,
just
you
not even
can't.
being here.
Babe, you can't take down an episode.
I didn't take down the
Oh.
episode. I took out the background
Oh,
music.
thank the God. Okay.
Thank the gods.
Thank the
That's
gods.
new. That's coming up on a t-shirt. Thank the gods. You like girls too? Thank the gods.
I didn't know you could remove it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
because it was on the thing.
I hope if you're early, like if you've never listened to an episode before, don't start from the beginning. You could start maybe from like nearest episode and then move your way back. You feel me? Like just go backwards. Because I feel like it was a lot of work in progress in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like we literally didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
I didn't do any research. And yeah, no, I love doing research. But it was like, I was literally just sitting down and a mic was in front of me. And then I was like, okay, let's do it. Just talking shit.
Vomiting out the mouth.
Yeah. Just literally talking.
I mean, I'm okay. I can finesse shit.
I get that.
It's so much better to talk from experience than to have to do so much research.
So much
but
research,
it is nice to have something to refer to.
Yeah.
But like she said, like if you go back, it's bound to be tragic from the beginning stages. However, you know, lucky for us, well, I won't say lucky for us, but we do each episode differently. So it's like you don't have to go all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah. To catch up
and know what it is.
Like every episode's different.
Yeah, the topic is always changing. You know, each episode has its own topic of conversation. So you don't have to worry about catching up on anything except for the fact of when we met and if we're dating. And I think that at this point in every episode, we should be like, yes, we're dating. We are dating. She's my baby mother. We got 2 sons. 2 furry sons.
You have to get a tattooed on your face.
Yeah, Jesus you started bugging. Anyway, so yeah. So if you haven't checked us out, go back.
So you don't think that we should get matching tattoos?
No.
Why?
Because you already said you would never do a matching tattoo.
You're right.
Meanwhile, you got somebody shorty tatted on you.
That's not what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I know what happened.
Stop that
whatever
shit.
happened got covered up. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say the rest on Patreon. But no, I honestly, so matching tattoos aren't the end of the world if it's small. I feel like, you know.
She's stated a million times, anything further than what we've already done gay, she doesn't want to get any gayer. So matching tattoos are out.
Okay, whatever. Let's go. Let's go.
Anyway, so yeah, back in episode 3, we did stereotypes and preferences, where it was more so personal, like preferences and more based on lesbians. This one is just based as the community as a whole.
So what are stigmas? We like to really start from like the bottom. Like, I like to explain things as if a fucking 5-year-old was listening, even though obviously they're not. But basically, a stigma is a negative attitude or an idea that people have on a specific group. So we want to kind of go into that and kind of, I don't know, just talk about our experience and just talk about it. I think it's funny because I feel like what we're going to talk about right now, like, people who don't listen to the podcast should probably listen to. Like, those random comments that we get all the time, like all the haters and stuff. Like, those are the type of people who need to listen to this podcast to learn a little bit, you know, about the LGBTQ community. And yeah.
Yeah, anybody who's just not with the shits is gonna, I mean, I feel like we're all guilty of it. As we get older, we just get sucked into everybody's like rumors and ideas of what things that we don't understand or that we don't personally relate to. And we just create this idea of what it's like to be that, right? Like,
but I think that people get these stigmas from like society, one, their household, like their family, what their family thinks, and like whatever you hear is coming out of your mom's mouth, like you're gonna believe and you're gonna be like, oh shit, like you just automatically go with that attitude and with that like state of mind, and you don't really question it because you're a child. But I feel like as you grow up, it's your responsibility to kind of fight that and
to
like
educate yourself,
to educate yourself, but to also educate your family. Like, there's certain things that sometimes my family be saying, and I'm like, all right, we're not even gonna do it. We're just not gonna talk about it because I'm not about to like ruin the day with this, you know.
Yeah, I've recently had a conversation with my dad and my brother, and
about what?
Like, listen, I love my brother to death, my younger brother, and you know he's soul searching right now. He's you know trying to find his way. Cool, I'm all for it. But we've hit the, you know, religion state, and that's cool. I want him to find his way and find something that's gonna, you know, bring him at peace and bring his spiritual awakening or whatever. But I kind of just feel like he is going down the path of like destruction with this.
I feel like, I don't know what he landed on like Instagram and TikTok, but he like landed on the like super negative.
Yeah.
But like also the type of videos that I feel like I don't know how to describe it. Like, they really make you question shit, and it's just like, all right, you guys are talking bullshit.
Yeah. But anyway, conversation was brought up, and I kind of wanted to see where his state of mind was leading with, you know, getting into this whole religious aspect of his life, and it was a little questionable. But what surprised me was that my dad stepped in and he brought up, you know, some very good point of views and examples that not that like I don't think my parents aren't educated enough. Like she said, we're all responsible in educating ourselves and knowing these things. And with internet and social media today, it's so much more easier to get caught up in bullshit.
I feel like he landed on like Andrew Tate type of videos. Very anti everything.
Right. So, but I was impressed with my dad because he was actually dropping really good knowledge, and I think that over the years my dad has like opened up his, I don't want to say open like he wasn't open, but
being more open-minded.
Yeah, and just being a little bit more respectful of people's, you know, way of life. Right. And I love that for him. Like, I think he's just at a state in his life where he's getting older and he's just like, you can't control everything everybody does, that, you know, you just have to be the support system that you know you want or that your loved ones need. Because if you love your family and you know you love whoever it is you love, that is what it is. Yeah. So that surprised me, and he always is telling us how like our platform is so good and how we're helping so many people and how we're even helping him because now he's understanding like you know, all these things that we discuss on this platform. So I don't know, I just thought that was cool and that was very nice of him. Like, you know, the older generation is really it, like these stigmas that we're gonna talk about and give examples of. I feel like this is like that older generation mind, you know, state of mind. And this is what they teach their kids and shit. You know, when you're not educated enough to like actually fucking pick up your phone and look up legit facts. But
I mean, that's just a sign that things could change around.
Yeah.
Like if you have a family member or friend who has like negative attitudes towards people, maybe something would change.
Yeah, I just think that when people really want to know you and understand your perspective and your, you know, and relate to you, they will find the way to educate themselves to relate to you.
So I was gonna talk about the stigma. So what do you think about when people say that homosexuality is a choice? Like you have a choice and this is the choice that you picked and this is the lifestyle that you choose.
I think that okay, so I'm obviously gonna say it's not a choice, but I think it can be a choice for some people. I don't think it's a choice for everybody.
Yeah.
Because like for me, my brother asked me, we had this conversation too. And he's like, oh, so you think you was just born gay? And I was like, well, I mean, it kind of made sense. Like, I mean, obviously you grew up in a household that's straight, like that's the norm. So you're not, well, my excuse was, so you think you was born straight? Like you was influenced by that too. But his like, argument was like, you know, you were influenced by the people you were around, that's why you're gay type shit. And I'm just like, nah, like honestly, once I was brought to light that this was acceptable, like this was just equally as like part of life as a heterosexual couple, I was like, oh wow, like, you know, you start to feel like you fit, you know? So for me, I was just like, nah, when I actually did experience that was a thing, like, you know, liking girls was a thing, I was just like, wow, like, okay, then I can be me. And that's where I was just like, oh, everything made sense. Like, I used to think this girl was pretty. I low-key used to like this girl, and I used to do all these things that just made sense. So I do think that some people are born gay. Is definitely, homosexuality isn't a choice for majority. Yeah. But I do think some, you know.
Yeah. It's just like when people say like that it's a choice, I'm just like, so you think that I would choose to like, because being gay is not all fun and games.
No, right. You want me to go, you think I chose to go through all these hardships knowing where I came from, the type of family that I have surrounding me, or the instability of support that I have.
So if it's a choice, then I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just weird. Like I feel like I don't really like that mentality. Like when people say that, and I honestly don't even know what to say to them.
I think okay, so everybody has their certain type of like idea or argument, I guess, so to say, when you say choice. And I think like for me, when I'm thinking choice, is just obviously the choice you make to actually pursue that truest part of yourself. Because you do have some people who like what is that, internalized
internalized homophobia. Yeah, but that's just like that's just like a terrible way to live.
Oh yeah, it is,
because you're choosing to forcefully be straight when in reality you know that you're not straight, you know.
But that's for other people's comfortability.
Yeah. So another stigma that goes with that is that homosexuality can be cured. So we're sick.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
And no, like these are real things, and like these stigmas came from history. So like back in the day, I don't know if we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, so according to this article called Best Life Online, that's where we got some of these examples. It was said that before the 1970s, most stereotypes about LGBTQ plus communities were extremely negative. It says that for much of the 19th to the 20th century, a vast majority of the population, including doctors and scholars, believed that members of the LGBTQ plus community suffered from mental disorders.
Yeah, and it was a mental disorder for a very long time. I know we said the year in one of our episodes, but if you were gay, you were like literally mentally unstable according to doctors.
Yeah, and again, that just comes with the idea of people not understanding what's happening. And I think that when people don't understand or like, truly have answers, people don't know how to, they just fear what they don't know. So I think like when there's no fact or type of study on it, it's like immediately negative. I feel like, it's just like just frowned upon and I don't want to say shaded, but just not it. But yeah, that's where all that how you say that something therapy,
conversion therapy.
There you
That's
go.
where the conversion therapy came from. That's still going on.
Yup, that's still a thing, and it's still not a thing. Like it doesn't work. It's a failed treatment plan. Like, and that's really crazy that people have gone through that or have been put through such a fucking don't watch my mouth
conversion therapy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So another stigma that I hear a lot, and I even heard it when I came out, was that your parents feel like they did something wrong. So it's like, oh, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
In my parenting.
Has your parents ever said that?
They didn't say that, but I feel like they kind of like my mom kind of like insinuated that in a little bit, like, because so I lived in DR for a very long time, so she started questioning if me living in DR had anything to do with it, which honestly it didn't. I think most of my gay childhood experiences were when I was in PR, not in DR.
In Puerto Ricans.
Right. So I'm like, no, like nothing to do with your parenting. You did the best that you could. Yeah. But I also think it's because I said something along the lines of like, you guys never talk to me about like relationships, and like that's why it's so hard for me to even talk about this, because it's like being in a relationship was never even like a conversation. It's just like, don't have a boyfriend, don't have sex. So it's just like, this is when I was coming out, I was like, this is why it's so hard for me. And I was like crying because it like, even like I said, like even when I was dating men, like nobody was meeting my parents. Like they're just not like that. They don't be asking like, are you going on a date? None of that. Like my mom's not like that. I wish she was like that, but she's not. And my stepdad was like, like he was crying and I felt so bad. He was like, we don't have like a parenting guidebook. I mean, now there are, but I don't know who's reading them. But he was like life just as a parent, like we're still learning. And then that's when I try to put myself in their shoes. Like it's true, like they are still learning as parents,
Right. I think it's hard for parents because ultimately you raise a child with this idea or this expectation of what they'll turn out to be because you instill so much of yourself in your children, based off your experience with life, whatever it is that you didn't want or that you didn't learn from past, from your own parents. So I think it's really hard for them, again, because I feel like they pre-plan this life for you and the type of person that you're gonna be, and when you finally come out and you're like, there's just a tweak in that plan real quick, they're just like, oh shit, like I wasn't ready for that, but not that that's their fault, you didn't do anything that necessarily pushed me down that path. And I do feel like they do put themselves in like that blame like category of how did their parenting affect you. Damn. Well, because I was gonna say something and now I'm losing it. It's all the bright lights. When you were writing up your message to your family and like I was reading it, I felt like
when I was coming out,
yeah, like I understood your part of it, and I guess for for me, when people say, oh, you know, when they think about their parents, it's just a little bit harder because at the end of the day, it's different, you know? Like, I guess to them, you're now changing, but you're not. And it's just like, you're the same person, which they have to understand. Like, just because I love somebody that's not the norm, you know, it doesn't change who I am. Yeah. I think that's what they get lost in, you know, which I think with even these stigmas, they probably had these stigmas in mind and think like, oh shit, my kid's about to be like this. Yeah. So I think it scares them, but I don't know. It just comes with understanding, but it's not their fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that they get into drugs. If you teach them not to get into drugs, it's not their fault that they, you know, become aggressive beings when you didn't teach them to become an aggressive being. Like, you know, there's plenty of bad things or traits and characteristics that we all kind of take on that we didn't learn from home, you know. Speaking of influence, apparently people feel like gay people have an influence or try to influence people to be gay. Listen, honey, the last thing we want is straight people in the sorry, no, I'm kidding. I love straight people. I have really good friends, so no shade. I'm just being funny. But yeah, my brother was just telling me this the other day too when we were having that conversation. He was like, "So you don't think that the people that you hung out with influenced you to be gay?" No. Clearly, I attracted those type of people because that was what was radiating off of me. Like, I wasn't just like, oh wow, like, I don't know, any regular person, if that wasn't for them, they wouldn't have gravitated towards that, right? Yeah, right. Those wouldn't be your type of friends, right?
Right. I mean, you have a bunch of straight friends.
I do.
Does that mean that they're gay now? No. Right. They're straight. They've been straight, like.
Right. So it's like, I'm not out here, like, you know, gay hunting, trying to turn people out. Yeah. You know? I think most times people come, you know, when they come around, they realize, oh shit, maybe I might be about this life, you know? Yeah. Yeah. But I don't think that, you know, we're out here trying to recruit. You know, if anything, that's a mess, actually. Because then people aren't really, they like fake for the community. They fake gay for a minute because they know. But anyway, so yeah, I don't think that that's the thing. Another stigma is you can't be queer and religious. I feel like this religion talk has been, you know, staggering around in the last couple episodes. And
there's a bunch of gay people who are religious. Yeah. I don't know them though, but yeah, they are.
No, there are. I've been seeing a lot that there's a lot more
I mean, there's a lot more churches that are open to it. So I feel like people feel obviously comfortable going into their church. It's all about feeling comfortable. And I feel like the reason why a lot of gay people aren't religious is because you guys judge us. And it's like we don't feel safe being around you guys because you're judging.
I won't say that really for all religious people.
I mean, that's how I feel.
I think that it really just depends on how much... I don't want to say how much you believe, like, because I believe in God. I just don't practice, you know, the full religious aspect. But
it's funny though, because I did like my communion, I did my first confirmation. Same. I was in high school still doing this shit. I had to go to like night school and like I would study the Bible with some of my family members, like going to church every Sunday. Like I feel like my family stopped doing that at a certain point, but there was a lot of points in my life where I was growing up and I was always in church, questioning things. And I was going to like a Spanish church, so like I was studying the Bible in Spanish too. And then I just totally kind of disconnected. Not that I'm not religious now, but it's not something that I don't really practice. So
yeah, you just have to do your research and find those inclusive spaces, because as we said, there are, you know, more and more churches that are becoming a little bit more inclusive and not throwing the damn book at you because of your sexual orientation. Right. Another stigma is that all gay men are flamboyant and feminine and all gay women are masculine. I I am the proof. You see all this head bobbing and I do that. I do that.
I feel like it's 2023. Like, people should not have that stigma.
Yeah.
Like, my best friend is gay and you would never think he is.
That's
never.
Damn, what did we watch? Oh, I watched a TikTok, and it was a comedy TikTok, of course. And the dude was like, he was a straight dude. He was like, I went on a date with a gay guy and didn't even know. He said he looked like me.
So just too straight looking.
Yeah, he was like, he was basically straight presenting. And not straight presenting, because what is straight presenting? He was saying like, yo, he was just a regular dude like me, you know,
mask,
right? You know, not flamboyant,
right?
And he was like, we played a pickup game or whatever, and you know, he ended up like, what did he say? He was like, he ended up asking me if I wanted to go to a basketball game with him, and shit, I went. He had what's that called? Courtside seats and He was like, we was at the game. He was buying me. He was like, don't worry about it. I got you. He was buying me shit. He was like, he came and picked me up. He said, oh shit, that's what's up. Like, you know, gas is expensive, so you could definitely come pick me up type shit. So he was like, I didn't realize like until after at the end of the night when he dropped me off and he walked me to the door. And then he was like trying to hug me. And when he hugged me, we touched face. And he was like, whoa. And he was like, whoa, man, like, what's up? And he was like, I am gay. He was like, what? And then he ended up saying like the signs made so much sense. But he was just like, he looked like me.
But was he gay too?
No, the other guy wasn't gay.
Oh, no, okay. No. I was hoping that at the end of the story you were gonna tell me that.
Oh, that he ended up. No. He was like, but I went on another date with him. He was probably just being funny. But,
okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, all gay women, and that's the problem too. Is like you associate gay women as masculine as well, and it's just like you just naturally have some masculine women as well. Like, not every female is feminine head to toe. Like, you actually have straight women who aren't that feminine. You know, that doesn't make you gay.
Right.
Like, I don't know why that.
I have a good friend that people swear that she's gay, but she's not. She's married to a man. People swore she was gay. I'm like, I thought about it for a second, but then I was like, nah, I don't think so.
I think when people see like females aggressive, like in such an assertive and aggressive way, they think like, oh, she gotta be gay.
Like the girls from New York.
What girls from New York?
Just girls from New York in general.
Yeah. Just how that's true.
All right. Another stigma that I see often is that people think that all transgender people are drag queens. That's not the case.
They really aren't. Not everybody really. How do I say that? I don't want to say not everybody, but drag queens are men that like
to perform.
Yeah, and they have that female persona, you know, and some of them really do it, and they do it well. But at the end of the day, at the end of the show, they go on about their regular life,
right?
And they take it all off, and they're the man that they want to be. You know, some may identify as, you know, wanting to be that, to truly be a woman, and actually in the process of transitioning.
But most
don't. Like,
yeah, I think that's what I mean. You can't even say the word drag queen shows around here because. You gotta look both ways because people are like so against that now. Like Texas, Florida, whatever. The biggest controversy in life. Another one is that lesbians hate men. That's like a big one. A big one. And I don't know. Like I've dated someone before who really didn't like men. Like anyone who like I even had a conversation with, the interaction, she was just like, nah.
I feel like it's hard, right? Because especially like when you're a lesbian, like, or I guess more so mask presenting, or it might just be all lesbians in general. It's not based on a mask or femme. But I think the idea of, but that's what happens. You date a straight girl or, you know, a bisexual girl, and it's that sense of insecurity. Like, oh, well, you've dated guys before, you've dated guys all your fucking life.
Right.
And it wasn't a problem to you that you were the first girl to her. That's like an honor or like the biggest hype in the
Yeah,
world.
it's like they be hyped off it, but then they're not okay with the consequences. You don't want to deal with
the right. So now she's just supposed to cut off every man. Like it just can't be no male relation. But that's not every lesbian. I think that has to come with. I mean, I don't have a reason for it. I do have some people who be like, and I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes when you know, I mean, we've been out and guys have come up to us, and I'm usually cool about it at first. I really just see your like how you come in first, you know. How are you being respectful or are you being a little out of pocket? Right. And there's been times where like guys came up to her and I'm just like, sorry bro, you gotta step. And then there's some times where they come up mad regular and just, you know, cool, like what's up with y'all fly, are y'all together? Oh, all right, my bad. Like, and I respect that. That's cool. I don't have no problems with that.
But sometimes it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah. Sometimes you actually got to be like, all right, motherfucker, you doing too much.
And what are they supposed to do? Fight a man?
Right. I think what's hard about that though is that guys get touchy. Guys get handsy. It's like, yo, you could talk your shit. I'm all about you talking your shit. Yeah, buy her a drink, whatever. You don't even gotta buy her a drink. Flirt with her, be cute. Yeah, haha, hee hee, whatever. But don't touch her.
No, they love grabbing people by the waist.
Don't touch her.
They love grabbing you by the waist.
You look pretty.
Oh, like
don't do that. Like, oh, so what's up? Like, and they love to do the hand grab thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
like, ew.
Like, just don't touch her. Like, you could talk to my girl, but don't touch her. Nah, but I think I have male friends. One of my like my hitters are like I go to the gym with him all the time. Like that's my boy. And I just think it might just be the type of relationship that you've had with men over your life, you know, because I have a dad, I have brothers. Like I said, I work in a male predominant environment, so I'm around men all the time. And they cool. It's just about the respect.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, so not all lesbians hate men.
Right. And then the last one is that bisexuals are promiscuous.
You don't know how to keep it in your pants, sis.
You don't know what you want.
Yeah.
You want a man or a woman. You want both. So you want both at the same time.
Yeah. I think that obviously I say I think a lot. I need to relax.
No, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm not bisexual. I feel like
you feel.
Yup. I think I don't know. Okay, I can't figure it out.
Just say the statement.
It not made sense. Maybe like back in the day that was the idea. Because you know you get a little bit of everything. But I feel like now it's not like that. Like, yeah, there are people who identify as bisexual, and
there are more people who identify as bisexual than the gay, not like lesbian nowadays. I feel like.
But not all of them are like, I want both. Like, I want to experience having a girlfriend and a boyfriend. I feel like it's usually they're leaning more towards one way over the other.
There's names for this shit. Throuples for three, literally a relationship with two people at once. You guys.
I remember the first time I learned about bisexuality. And it was real quick. It was when you remember the Real World? When the Real World used to be out, and it was just like, not the Real World, True Life.
Same thing.
No, not. It's like True Life. I'm an addict. True Life. I'm bisexual. And there was, and I remember there was a girl.
No way did they have that.
Yes, girl. Oh, MTV. Yes.
Like you got two heads. True Life. What the fuck?
Yes. So there was a girl, and I remember seeing it, and she was just like, you know, I have a boyfriend and I have a girlfriend.
Oh, that was promiscuous back then.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I think like back then that was the idea of bisexuality. But now I think everybody's kind of just like, I identify with that, but I'm not playing both sides of the, you know, I'm kind of a little bit more one way, but I stay under this.
Right. This umbrella.
Yeah.
All right. So actually that wasn't the last one. So the last one is about HIV, and we want to talk a little bit more about it and basically try to educate you guys, but also just bring awareness about it, because I feel like me and Jojo went through this training and we did some research and everything. I feel like HIV is something that's not really talked about. Same thing with like STDs, STIs. I think I talked about my experience once with an STI, and it was in a family meeting. It wasn't even a podcast, but I'm not really gonna talk about myself right now. So there's a lot of stigmas that like surround HIV, and we kind of just want to dive into them and give you guys like the proper facts. So here are a few examples. So the biggest stigma, like for as long as I can remember, people always tie HIV with queer. Like that's like a gay disease. Like only gay people get that. Like, like they look at you sideways type of thing. And I feel like for the longest time, people just had this stigma that only queer people get HIV. Like
That's right. Like they're the only ones that have sex. I mean, which isn't the only way to be exposed to HIV, but I feel like mostly that was the idea of it.
Yeah.
And that, in fact, wasn't true at all.
Right.
Like, and it still isn't.
It really isn't. And then another stigma is that, like, if you were to say, like, oh, I'm getting tested for, like, HIV, or, like, I'm taking the precautions to not get, like, HIV, people are like,
sus.
But why are you even doing that? Like, are you gay? Like, you're gay. Or, like, like, I feel like it should be seen as the same thing of you getting your STIs. Like, you go to the gynecologist, you get your blood work, you look through, all the tests and make sure you're good. It literally should be the same procedure, honestly. Like, people shouldn't look at it sideways. And another stigma that, like, we see a lot is that, I mean, I know growing up, I would hear these type of comments where it was like, well, that's the lifestyle that you chose. So, like, if you have HIV, then that's on you because that's what you chose.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Who just chooses to get
HIV?
And back then, the disease was pretty. It was deadly at the time. There was, I mean, there still isn't currently a cure, but there are ways to, there are prevention options and ways to live with it in the event you are exposed to it and have it. But you were kind of on your own back then.
Yeah, and there wasn't too much education about it, and even now, like, I feel like it's just like a taboo topic.
Yeah.
And another stigma that we were reading was that people think that like HIV equals AIDS, and it doesn't. Like, just because you have HIV doesn't mean that you automatically have AIDS. If you don't, treat it, then that can develop to AIDS. Like, that's really the difference between the two. And it also doesn't mean that it's a death sentence. So I remember when I was younger and like learning about this in school, I was so naive that I thought that HIV and cancer were the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I mean, they're two pretty big,
Yeah. But like it was talked about so often, like in school and like even at home. Like, people get cancer all the time. And like I thought it was like the same thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised at how many people don't know too much about HIV. Yes, I feel like they teach us in school and they tell you, but they don't. It's like, where does it go after that? Now you see a lot of commercials that's just like, oh, take PrEP, and then there's ways to like, prep yourself,
So we also want to talk about like what HIV isn't, because I feel like a lot of people are uneducated with that, or maybe they just like to be ignorant.
It is not a gay man disease, y'all. It's not a gay person disease, period.
Literally anyone can have it. And that doesn't mean that you can't pass it with like touch. You can't pass it with kissing. You can't pass it with like tears, or like just being next to somebody who has it.
You don't get it from sitting on the toilet.
Don't be weird.
Like weird shit like that,
Don't be weird.
I mean,
like
I think that is obviously, when you're trying to be precautious, it's just like you think that way, but it's not how
it's not
you're
COVID.
Exposed to it.
It's not COVID, okay? So you don't get it that way. The ways that you do get it are, we want to talk about like how you can get it as like a woman. So name one.
Oh, okay. So sex toys.
Yeah, can you believe
if you're
that?
not keeping your toys clean, or updating new toys with different partners,
which we've talked about before in the podcast. And I remember we posted a video on social media And I had asked a question, but I was being funny. I was like, so do you need like what did I say? It was a dildo or whatever. Do you need
a new strap?
a new strap with each partner? Surprisingly, people in the comments was like, no.
You gotta think about it that when
No.
you know you're using a strap or any type of penetrative thing, you know we bleed. And that's not even on your, like, that's not even pertaining to menstrual blood. There are sometimes, during sex,
if you get too crazy,
yeah, where it's like you do bleed, and that's one of the main sources is through blood.
Yeah.
So
it could be through bleeding gums as well. So you gotta be careful with that. I know some people have like really sensitive gums. It could also
cuts.
be like just oral sex, obviously, in general. Like you can pass it through that. Menstrual blood, like we said. I'm laughing, but you know why I'm laughing? I remember listening to this podcast with Horrible Decisions, and this lady was saying that like she has sex on her period, and like she'll like eat girls out like on their period and stuff. Call me out. Call me out. I'm not that crazy. I'm not that freaky deaky. But that could be another way. Like
another way is when you're sharing needles. I mean, not everybody out here doing drugs, but there are. Needles are like super common to use for any type of medical,
even for tattoos.
Yeah,
like you got to make sure that you go into someone who's legit and who's using new needles, clean needles, like
everything sterile.
You gotta look at them. What are you opening? What is that?
Yeah.
Like you gotta make sure. And like I know people be like, oh, my friend does tattoos from his house. Don't do that. Please go to a professional. Next thing you know, you got an ugly ass tattoo that you don't even like. And who knows if that needle was
clean. Or sterile.
Right, right.
So yeah, sharing needles, or like she said, getting tattoos and stuff. Pre-cum, believe it or not. I hate to say it, but yeah, pre-cum. It can be transmitted that way as well.
And then another way is like if you are dating someone who's bisexual, and obviously if they go and have sex with a man and then they get it, and then you guys are still like having sex and doing
don't you feel like that kind of implies that it's a gay man disease or gay person disease?
No, I'm just saying, like if they're just not having protected sex, like in general, I feel like it's easier for a man and a woman to kind of like transmit that, just because of that penetration and all of that. Obviously it's harder for people in lesbian relationships, but I'm saying, like, if you are someone who's just like has a lot of partners and things like that, you gotta be careful too. Like you can't just be careless. Make sure your partner is like, all right, this is an open relationship or open whatever, then make sure that at least you're having protected sex. Like that's the least you could do for me.
The last example that I have is, having kids. There's people who do have HIV and end up getting pregnant and having kids, and it goes through the mother to the child.
Right. So I think it's important just to highlight like the numbers. You guys know that I'm a numbers person. And while we were doing our research, it says that today more than today
What's that screen for?
I don't know, because I was like, which one is she moving? Like,
I'm moving both of them, but I'm trying to move that one first because you could see it.
Okay, thank you. So today, of the more than 1 million people living with HIV in the United States, 23% of them are women. So that's a big number. And out of that 23%, unfortunately, it does affect people of color. So women of color, especially Black women, they are like at the highest percentage of this. Which is why we need to talk about it. Like, we do know that this is a Latina podcast, but we always say, like, POC, like, this is open to everybody, and I know I want it. I want the right people to like listen to this and really like take it seriously, and we want to talk about like what you can do to kind of prevent it, and like how you can take care of yourself. So there's something called PrEP. If you've never heard of it before, it's basically I like to describe it as like it's similar to like birth control type of thing, where like you take birth control because you don't want to get pregnant, or you take birth control for cramps. But in this case, PrEP is like to basically like reduce your chances of getting HIV. New invention, like a lot of people are on it, and it's like orally or through a shot. And it's not a new invention, it's been out for a while, but
yeah, all them HIV commercials y'all be seeing, this is what you be seeing. PrEP.
Yeah.
It's all that, you know, everything you gotta pre-prepare. Come on, y'all. Preparation.
Is that what it is?
Well, not to get it.
You made that up?
No.
Preparation?
Is that not like
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's what it's giving me.
No. So okay, so the other thing that we learned about, which we didn't know, there's something called PEP.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so basically with PEP, you need to take PEP within 72 hours with a doctor's prescription if you believe that you've been exposed to HIV. And you have to take it for like at least 28 days. And yeah, that's also similar to like Plan B. Like if we...
Girl.
Only problem is you need a doctor's prescription.
Yeah.
So please, yeah.
Go see a doctor.
Yeah, but like I feel like a lot of people don't know about that. Like PEP, I've heard about PrEP. Never heard about PEP.
Most people don't know though. You know, when you're exposed to HIV, you know, so I think that's why it's a little bit more harder, and that's where the PrEP comes in. Is like obviously taking the pre-medications while you're negative, so that, you know, if you do come in contact, your chances are less
like very
of contracting
slim.
it. Yeah, and then PEP is just, you know, again, most times people don't know until they start, you know, those symptoms start hitting, which really don't hit for some time after.
Yeah, but like let's say you find out right afterwards, then you can go to a doctor and get that prescribed.
Yes.
Obviously get tested frequently. Like she said, you could have it and not know, which is why you should be getting tested frequently. Especially if you are having like new sexual partners.
Yes.
That's a must. And then the last thing is that the HIV vaccine, is it out yet? No.
Is it out yet?
It's not out yet. It's not out yet. But, you know, good science takes time. And, like, sometimes people are like, well, you know, the COVID vaccine, like, that came out too quick. And that came out quick because literally the world shut down. Like, if the world shut down for HIV, trust and believe they will come out with an HIV vaccine, like, soon. But it takes time. And we just want to, like, let you guys know that when it does come out, you better sign up and get that vaccine. And we're pro-vaccine, so that's why we're saying these things. For the people who are not pro-vaccine, at least listen to us and at least take in what we're telling you. And take in that knowledge. Because a lot of these things I honestly didn't know, and I feel like we should know.
So those of you who don't know what the Red Ribbon Registry is, it's a database of people who want to support HIV clinical research. So if we want to get a vaccination, which they've been working so hard on doing clearly over the many long years.
Yeah.
You know, that's what these HIV clinical trials are for.
We also want to give a shout out to the Black AIDS Institute. They're dedicated to just ending the HIV and AIDS epidemic. It's just important to, like, you know, get tested constantly if you're having like new sexual partners. You honestly never know, bro. And I remember watching this movie. I forgot, I think it was called Temptation. Whatever, there was this movie about this girl, this woman who had like a really, really amazing, perfect life, and she cheated on her husband with this guy who was like rich and like had all the nicest things or whatever, and then he ended up giving her HIV. Fooled her.
See, most people don't even know. But yeah, with the Red Ribbon Registry, if you want to look into it and you guys want to be a part, of the whole clinical research and clinical trials. There are clinical trials out there that you could potentially be a part of. And one of the main things that they're lacking right now is diversity. So, don't be scared to go out there, get the information you need, and potentially get added to any of those things, because it will give us, not us, but give them a better number or understanding of, the demographic as a whole.
Right. So there's a show called Pose that we've talked about before, and I feel like they do such a good job at like educating you and also making it like very entertaining when it comes to like the HIV epidemic and everything that like happened like back in the day. And it was honestly pretty sad, but I feel like they did a good job at just like making you feel like you were there. Like I felt so bad, like literally getting teary-eyed.
Yeah, they really show you the severity of it and how like not seriously taken it was before. And in that show, it does show you like, oh, that's a gay man's disease. So we're just gonna, like she said earlier, that's the life you chose, and those are the consequences you have to deal with, right?
Yeah.
So it is pretty crazy, and it's fairly sad that that's how it was treated back then. But
yeah. But yeah, you gotta watch Pose. Honestly, the first episode, it was a little bit slow for me. Like, it took me some time. But then I put her on, and she loved it. It's such a good show. I don't think they have Pose on Netflix, but I know that they have it, I think, on Hulu or, like, Amazon Prime. It is such a good show. Like, I'm telling y'all, please watch it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. If there's anything that I rewatch, it's Pose, Grey's Anatomy, and The L Word.
Right.
Those are the main things I love to rewatch.
Electra, my favorite.
Giving. Angel?
Bobby?
Giving. Bobby.
Stop. Stop it. Stop. I'm telling you, like, and then they have like representation, like POC, like Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. Obviously, it's a lot of it's in New York, but
and that was nice to see.
Oh yeah, of course.
Being the predominant, even though considering it was just like, oh, the predominant is whatever. But definitely one of my favorite shows. Should definitely check it out. Honestly, we don't have nothing new to watch. We about to
watch it again.
She say that, and I really will rewatch it, but I don't think she's a rewatcher.
They should sponsor us. That's crazy.
We need a lot of sponsors, and we're going to talk about it. Don't worry, Patreon. We're picking it.
I hope that you guys learned something from this. If there's anything that we said incorrectly or anything that we missed, feel free to let us know in the comments. We're always open to feedback, obviously. We come on here to obviously entertain you guys, but we also want to educate you guys. I know that as a podcast listener, like I need to learn something or I need to like laugh a little.
Yeah.
Like I need to get something from it. So I hope that you guys did get something from that. And yeah, let's go into the family meeting.
Oh shit, we're gonna get the juice. I don't forgot about the family meeting.
What is going on?
Alright, so we're gonna get into this family meeting real quick, and I'm gonna do my best to read it with my eyes squinted because it's a little small. Alright, so it says we aren't dating. We hooked up for a while. Is this how it started? Hold up.
That's how it literally starts. That's how it literally starts.
Really?
So
alright, listen, don't kill the messenger. I'm just reading what was written, and while I appreciate all you, reaching out to tell us your story or voice out your situations, we're gonna need y'all to stop setting me up for failure and do a little bit better on some of your submissions. Anyway, so it starts off saying that we're dating, we hooked up for a while, and she started acting weird. She stopped texting and asked me not to text her too much. I really love her, but she doesn't want to hear. I tried getting over her, but I couldn't. Even when I have sex with another girl, I keep thinking about her and it hurts. It hurts because you're not protected. Say no, I'm kidding.
Stop. No, so one thing about me though, it's like if someone tells you don't text me, leave me alone, you gotta listen to them. Don't be one of those people that's like double texting. Like, no, please have some respect for yourself.
Nah, I don't got no respect for myself. I'm the type of person that when you kind of tell me not to do something, I'm gonna do something.
Oh, you think that you like to chase.
Yeah.
Mira.
Yeah. I'm bad for that.
Nah, there's gonna be somebody out there for you who's gonna be waiting for you with open arms. This whole don't text me shit, like, I mean, obviously easier said than done, right? But delete their number. Delete it. And if you have it memorized, I don't know what to tell you.
No, because I would like have it memorized and not even know that I had it memorized. And I'd be
delete
like,
their number.
And then it's like you delete their number and then they finally, you don't block them, you just delete their number and they finally decide to hit you up and you're like, I fucking knew it.
Nah. Delete their number. Don't even try to hit them up through any other social media platform. Don't email them. No.
Nah, yeah, you None really. Of that. I mean, that all comes within time, step by step. You know, you have to distance yourself in the ways you can. But you got to give yourself more credit. Like you could do it. Mm-hmm. You know, you can distance yourself. You can stop talking to them. Stop. You know, you gotta. I hate to say it, not a distraction, but you have to find something that's gonna hold your attention. That's not gonna make you, want to reach out to that person. You know. Yeah. All right, the next one says, recently moved in with my girlfriend. She is already established and has her career. Myself, on the other hand, is still working on it. How long would you be willing to wait for a marriage proposal before calling it quits if it's that big of a deal to you? You got good contacts. I'm surprised you could read that.
Yes. Wow, this is an interesting question because we were talking about this on Patreon. So I feel like the fact that she is already established is what makes you feel like maybe you have to propose. And I get that because I'm also the type of person where it's like, can't do that until I get this first. Or like, I need to have this in order to do that. And it really shouldn't have to be that way. I wish that my mind could like stop, like, I don't know how to say it. Like, I wish that sometimes I could just not think that way, but I know where they're coming from. Where it's like, well, is she gonna want to marry me? Like, I'm not even established like that, you know? Like, I don't know. Yeah. But that's a conversation that you guys have to have. She'd be asking me all the time.
What I be asking you?
Like, how long is too long?
Yeah, I gotta know what's up. I mean, it's funny because in the beginning she's all like, "Yeah, like what? It's gotta this kind of gotta be the time frame. Like if you were anybody for past 10 years, what was the time? I said, "Oh, so what 5 years look like?" She was like, "That's just making it." And I said, "Oh, all right, you one of them. All right, cool. You lucky I like you." And then you know it's 2 years. We 2 years and some change in, and it's getting a little questionable wait. now.
So what's your timeline?
I don't have a timeline.
Oh, okay. What'd that mean?
I don't have a timeline. Oh, okay. I mean, I know that obviously I want to get married. You know, that's always been a thing, but obviously it's not like I'm in a rush to do it. Right. But I don't have a timeline of when it needs to be done. I'll do it right now. Yeah, look at you. She's scared. She's shook. She wouldn't even be ready for it. Shut the hell up. But I also think that for you, that comes with not like you being caught up in your shit. Like I need to do this. I need to accomplish it. Like she is that person who's like, I need to be established. I need to have a home. I need to be a millionaire because you know money makes money does buy happiness. Now she clowning. So no, but that is how she is. So it's like it distracts her from what it is that you do have, and when you're not present like that.
But I just feel like that. Like, I feel like sometimes people don't take us seriously because we're not married. But that's besides the point. I do think that sometimes lesbians, like, I have yet to see a lesbian couple on social media that's not married other than us.
What's the problem?
My thing is like people be rushing it. Well, maybe they're not rushing into it,
but like have been together for years.
Some people are like, it's like, oh, you gotta do it. Like you gotta do it. Like everyone else is doing it. Like no, it shouldn't have to be that way. You shouldn't have to do things because other people are doing it. Who cares?
Yeah, but what makes you think that other people are doing it for other people?
I don't know. I just feel like we focus on a lot of like what's going on social media, and if that's on our feed, like, oh, they're having kids, oh, they're getting married, oh, they're buying a house. It's like then you start questioning like, oh, I gotta do something. And it's like, no, all you gotta do is travel and live your best life.
I don't have any questions. I don't see people's lives and be like, damn, I need that.
All right, and that's for you, but not everybody's like that. Like a lot of people follow influencers and follow people, and sometimes it's not the best for your mental health. I only follow positive shit. I don't know, like I don't follow people who have like this too glam of a life, because white everything, it's just like, nah. I like to see a little bit more like realistic lifestyle, if that makes sense.
A little bit of struggle.
Yeah, like realistic things that I could relate to. But I'm saying, like, when it's so easy to get caught up on like what is everyone doing, you know?
Don't worry, y'all. We are all the struggle you need. we will show you
the struggle. But that's on you guys. You guys have your own timeline.
It is. But you guys have to sit down and have that conversation and be like, listen, I need time. And if one need time, I think,
but you know
I think having the reassurance, and it's not everything. It's just like just knowing like we are discussing the idea of it and it is what we're moving towards. And, you know, I think the more you talk it in that direction, it eventually will bring it to its course. Right. So I think like that's a sense of assurance, you know, like that reassurance, like, okay, so you like, it's kind of like that partner check-in where it's just like, how are we okay, how you been feeling, how do you feel about us, what have I been lacking in, you know? It's like that check-in. And I feel like when you are in a long-term relationship and you do want it to go, you know, you want the longevity of it to be years and years to come, you know, I think sometimes we have to revisit those conversations. One time isn't enough, like, you know?
Oh yeah, of course.
So I think, you know, having that conversation for them and, you know, continuing to lay those, you know, ideas down, that it'll come.
But you also want to know why people be so tied up with the whole career thing, because the wedding, the whole thing is just expensive. The wedding, the ring, like, and then it's like, oh, if I get her a cheap ring, is she gonna say something? You know, like, it's like, so you gotta you gotta get your money right, so you can fucking save for the ring and make sure that it's like a ring that they like. I feel like there's just a lot of pressure in it
to blow.
That's how I be feeling. Like, God, how much money you supposed to spend on a ring? This girl gonna cost me an arm and a leg. I already know.
No, I'm not.
She is. No, she is.
I'm not gonna cost her
shit. She is. I'm scared.
I'm not gonna cost her anything. I'm scared. I would even buy my own ring.
I'm scared.
No.
That's no.
No. I'm not gonna cost her shit. And she got the hookup. She got the discount even if she wanted to.
Shit. All right, y'all. That was all. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye.
Deuce, Mother Goose.